but it means a lot for the Bears since they have not been to the playoffs in 3 seasons. Now, general manager Ryan Poles, he says he understands that the hype that comes along with being the first overall pick, and he wants to do great things here in Chicago, he being Caleb Williams. So do we expect Caleb to do great things in Chicago? 2-5, you up first.
I'm up first. I think so. I think we will not see any bust in Chicago with number 18 on. I think he's that good. You know what's funny? Like now we're in a Patrick Mahomes era. That's what I call it now. And that means he's the most dominant quarterback and he's playing at a certain level. But everybody wants to copycat that. Like every team wants to have their Patrick Mahomes. That's why you draft the certain players you draft. He's the first quarterback I've really seen, okay, he has a lot of Patrick Mahomes in him. The way he throws the ball, the way he commands the offense, right? All the special things he has with him. So I don't see anything wrong with it. I think he'll be successful in Chicago, and I think they'll get their number 1 pick, and they'll be super happy with it.
Joy, great things. You expect that from Caleb Williams in Chicago?
Yeah, I do. And I think it's also because they've done great work to put good pieces around him.
That matters, too.
So he's going into what appears, at least on paper, to be a good situation. And when you are talking about making the transition at that position to the NFL, the expectations that come with the number 1 overall pick, then the expectations that are coming with being compared to Patrick Mahomes, and then the pressure of trying to drag Chicago out of this abyss of never having a franchise quarterback, there's a lot. But they've done a great job, Ryan Poles specifically, of putting really good pieces around him, giving him options, of giving him weapons, giving him a little bit of stability. I think that's super important for a rookie. I mean, Shady and I talk about this all the time, the expectations that we have for rookies. They're not going to be reasonable for Caleb Williams. But as far as what he's going to do in the long term in Chicago, there's no reason to think he won't be successful there. And they might be successful this season based off of what they've put around him. So I think it's a great situation. I think he will do great things.
I agree. Here's my concern for everybody at the table and for you at home is, I was thinking about this the other day, Joy. If you look at an organization and they've never had a certain something, and it's the same something, I no longer look at the thing. I look at the organization. If I look at an organization and they've always had a certain something, and it's the same something, I don't look at the thing. I look at the organization. I'll start with the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys are always going to have a good running back. DeMarco Murray led the league in rushing yards while LaShawn McCoy was playing. He led the league in rushing yards. Ezekiel Elliott led the league in rushing yards. Emmitt Smith leads the NFL in rushing yards. Cowboys are always going to have a good running back. They always will. At least check. Every 2 years, they're going to have a good running back. Steelers are always going to have a good defense. The Browns are never going to have a good quarterback. The Bears have never had a good quarterback. Not all of those quarterbacks are sorry. I played with them in the NFL. I played with them in college. I played against them in college. They're not all sorry. But for whatever reason, in Cleveland, they never perform. I don't believe all these Bears quarterbacks have been historically sorry. But for whatever reason, in Chicago, they never perform. If you look at an organization and they always have a certain something, Bears bad quarterbacks, Browns bad quarterbacks, Bears really good defenses, and that organization never has a certain something, I no longer look at the thing. Reason I bring that up is Caleb is, to me, the greatest college talent I've seen at the quarterback position based upon how the current NFL is structured. You need to be able to throw off platform. You need to be able to run. You need to be able to create your own plays. You need to be able to throw at any arm angle. You need to be able to do all those things. Caleb can do it better than any college prospect that I have seen based on how the current NFL system is being structured. But Justin Fields wasn't that bad. He wasn't that bad. In Chicago, he was. But in real life, he wasn't that bad.
What do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is the Justin Fields that we saw coming out of college, because right now all we've seen is Caleb Williams coming out of college. Justin Fields had 41 touchdowns. He had 3 interceptions. Justin Fields played with a lot of talent at wide receiver. Caleb Williams had Jordan Addison at USC.
It did.
So Justin Fields wasn't that bad, but then you go to Chicago and he was that bad. I say that to say I need to see the Bears help Caleb Williams out, because I'm worried about the Bears potentially causing flaws in Caleb Williams' game, because we've never seen a quarterback pass for 4,000 yards in Chicago. Obviously, I believe Caleb Williams will do so. But when I look at the Bears and they always have a certain something they struggle with, I'm just trying to make sure that the Bears don't
What's
ruin
my saying?
Everybody good in college.
Hello. All the quarterbacks at Ohio State, they are.
They're good. They're great.
All of them.
They're actually good.
All right, so great take, though. That was a great take. But I don't believe all that.
Every quarterback was good at Oklahoma in college, and every quarterback good at USC in college.
So everybody's good in college.
So my point.
So they get to the elites.
So then shouldn't you have the same concerns? Because from Landry Jones to Jason White to Sam Bradford, all good in college. Blake Bell now is a tight end, won 3 Super Bowls with the Kansas City Chiefs. He was a quarterback.
Yeah,
in
but
Oklahoma.
Caleb wasn't good in college.
He was elite.
Caleb was special.
Yes.
And so if we really believe
Generational, that's
that he
what it
was
is.
special and generational, then he has to be looked at with a little bit more projection than all those good quarterbacks.
Okay,
were.
then I'll only talk about the elite ones. Sam Bradford was elite. I mean, elite in college.
Wait, was
elite. Sam
But
Bradford
see,
went crazy.
hold on,
Elite.
before he goes, I hate the college talk, right? And they make us not a college guy like that, but everybody's getting college. There was a time where we thought Tim Tebow was like that.
Correct.
But he wasn't,
Agreed.
because everybody's in college. So my thing is that,
So,
what?
first off, Tim Tebow was great in college. None of them looked like Caleb Williams. You know how I feel about
He's
Justin
special.
Fields. So, I don't care if Sam Bradford threw for 5,000, Caleb Williams threw for 4,000. Justin Fields threw for 4,000, Caleb Williams threw for 3,000. We're watching with our own 2 eyes somebody that's absolutely special.
Yes, sir.
A generational talent. And what the Bears have done, which they have not done with their quarterbacks, is put together all this talent around them. Jay Cutler would have threw for 4,000 yards if Jay Cutler didn't get hurt. Jay Cutler was a good quarterback for the Chicago Bears. He got hurt, he didn't get to that. If Caleb Williams is healthy, it is great things that is about to happen in Chicago. And he possibly, and y'all know how I feel about Jordan Love, if we are going to get the Caleb Williams that we've seen with our own 2 eyes at UFC, he can end up being the best quarterback in this division. I'm not saying next year. I'm just saying great things are ahead for the Chicago Bears.
Are you not concerned? Because here's why I'm concerned. When I look at the Packers, always got good quarterbacks. They always do. I don't think it's coincidence. I think
Always
what
have
they
a lot
do-
of good weapons around them,
No
too.
doubt. I think organizationally what the Packers do with quarterbacks is great. The Bears don't ever have great quarterback play. They don't have great quarterback play.
they
Mitch
don't- they
Trubisky
don't-
had a roster. He had the
weak.
number 1 defense.
He was weak, too.
And he had the number 9 offense. And I don't talk about stats. Talk about names. They had Roquan Smith and Khalil Mack. That's
But you're
for
talking
starters.
defense, though.
Correct.
That doesn't help the quarterback play.
But what I'm saying is we've seen, even when you talked about Cutler, Matt Forte was nice and Brandon Marshall was.
And he had the best year. If he
And
didn't
he
get
was
hurt,
nice.
if he didn't get hurt, these Bears quarterbacks numbers will be better. That's
And
what I'm
they had
saying.
number 83 Martellus Bennett.
Look, I don't, you know how I feel about organizations and dysfunction. I talk about it all the time. The Bears are the only team in NFL history to not have a quarterback pass for 4,000 yards in a single season. That is just a factual statement. Cannot be argued. That is what has happened in NFL history.
That's nasty.
That is, it's terrible. But that is the brand of the Bears. And there are certain reasons why organizations have these sort of habits, right? Like the Bears love to focus on the run game. They love to draft defensive players. Like there are certain organizations that have these brands and these habits about them. But as with any organization that has these constant, seemingly endless traditions or failures, someone special comes along and breaks that and changes the future of the organization. So I believe that Caleb Williams is special enough
Agreed.
to change the brands of the Chicago Bears and usher them into a modern NFL.
And that's the word she used, special. If we put Caleb Williams, right, in the draft with all the other greats, right, from Peyton Manning to Andrew Luck, all the dudes, Michael Vicks, he's going to be special in his own way. Now, I don't know who would go first and all that. I'm just saying it's a special talent. The guys you start naming, like Baker Mayfield and Sam Bradford, them dudes, whoa. They had good careers, but they wasn't special.
This is where you're wrong. And I think you're objectively wrong.
Bradford was special?
Yeah, at the time, remember, in
He was
2000,
good.
No, Shady. Sam Bradford was elite. He was not good. He was elite.
I don't believe that.
That's not something to be believed. He won a Heisman. He was a runner-up for a Heisman.
It's a lot of Heisman that win that's not special.
In college, Sam Bradford
He was
was
not
one
special.
of those ones. He was one of one.
That's your opinion, bro. That's your opinion.
It's not my opinion.
Because guess what?
It was all the general manager's opinion because he went number 1.
And they always right.
No.
Okay.
What I'm saying is
Okay.
not
So,
my
all right,
opinion.
so don't act like they always right.
No,
Because you're a general manager.
but it's not just my
Because some of them
opinion.
shouldn't be there.
It's not just my opinion.
What I'm saying is when I watched Sam Bradford for Oklahoma, right? When I watched him play, I didn't think he was special.
Shady.
When I watched Baker Mayfield, I didn't think he was special. Keep going. Matt Leinart, another dude you talked about. Heisman, I didn't think he was
He
special.
didn't go number 1.
Where he went? Number 11, 10, for something like that to the Cardinals?
But there's guys.
But forget all that, though.
But we can't forget all that.
No,
because-
not forget it. What I'm saying is you're telling me these dudes were special. Who are you taking, Nacho, in college?
I am in 2024. I'm taking Caleb, but in 2008 we would have took Bradford because in 2008.
After how we see Caleb Williams
Think
look.
about James. You were there. You lived it. Think about how the NFL has changed over the course of years.
I know, but
think about how
Acho,
it's changed.
I'm listening
In
to-
2008, we wouldn't have taken Caleb
Yeah,
number
but
one
I'm
overall.
listening
We
to
would
you.
have taken a 6'5", statuesque dude who could throw darts, because that was Brent Roethlisberger, that was Eli, that was